Okay, I think we're recording, Brooke. Okay. Officer Schwartz, the questions I'm going to ask you need to be answered by either stating yes or no, or if you can't state yes or no, say yes, that's correct, or no, that's not correct. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and at any time, if you don't understand a question, just tell me, and I'll rephrase the question to make sure you can fully understand it. Okay?
I understand, yes.
Okay. Officer Schwartz, you have investigated many crimes throughout your career, correct?
I have, yes.
Okay. In fact, you've investigated many felony crimes.
Yes, absolutely.
Would it be accurate to say, on average, that you investigate at least 20 felony crimes a year?
I haven't really counted, but I'd say about that, yes.
Would it be fair to say that you investigate at least 10 felony crimes per year?
Yes.
After you investigate crimes, you prepare police reports. Isn't that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. You prepare a report to assure all the facts are recorded correctly. Isn't that right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. And you were thorough in preparing these reports, right?
I try to be as thorough as possible, yes, sir.
Okay. You include all pertinent facts that you believe are important to the case. Isn't that right?
Yes, that's the point of a police report, absolutely.
Okay. And as an experienced officer, you don't leave out important details to a report, correct?
No. To the best of my ability, I include everything I think is pertinent. Yes, sir.
Okay. And attention to detail, you would say is important, would you not?
I try very hard to include every detail I feel is important. Yes, sir.
And attention to detail is very important because you provide the prosecuting attorney with a report. Isn't that right?
That is correct, yes.
And they rely on this attention detail to make a proper case against a client.
I would assume so, yes.
And you also prepare reports to refresh your memory in case you ever have to testify in court.
Yes, that's true, sir.
And probably so you don't mistake one case with another in regard to the facts of a case.
Yes, absolutely. The police report does help us in not confusing facts. Yes.
Now, you completed a report after arresting Mr. Dorn on August 17, 2015. Isn't that correct?
Of course, yes.
Now, you wrote this report while all the details were fresh in your mind. Isn't that correct?
Yes, sir. That's how we do it at our department. Yes.
Now, this report was completed after you had a chance to fully investigate Mr. Dorn's alleged crime. Isn't that correct?
I don't know if I fully investigated the crime. I wrote it immediately after I did the initial investigation of the crime that night. Yes. Okay.
If any additional facts were found, you would have done a supplemental report. Isn't that correct?
Yes, I would have.
But a supplemental report was not done in this case?
No.
Okay. Now, Exhibit 3 is a copy of the report you wrote following the arrest of Mr. Dorn's arrest. Isn't that correct?
Yes, it is.
And this copy reflects the exact same information as your original report. Isn't that correct?
Yes, sir, it does.
And this is a signature here on the bottom stating that all the facts in your report are accurate and true. Isn't that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. At this time, I offer Exhibit 3 into evidence. At approximately 10:50 p.m. on August 17, 2015, you were on the 800th block of Salem Street. Isn't that correct? I lost my client. Brooke, you there?
I think I got it. Yes, I'm back.
Okay, you're walking down this. Let me start over here. At approximately 10:50 on the evening of August 17, 2015, you're on the 800th block of Salem Street, correct?
That is correct. Yes.
And you were walking down the sidewalk on the south side.
Yes, outside. Yes.
Okay. Now, at some point, you looked across the street.
I did. Yes.
And you saw a man standing by the Williams Sporting Goods store entrance.
Yes, sir, I did.
Now, from this distance, you could see the person was a man.
The person was dressed like a man. I assumed it was a man. Yes.
And you could also see the man was wearing a short sleeve shirt. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir. He was wearing a short sleeve shirt.
Okay. Now, you could also tell that he was wearing dark pants.
That's what it looked like to me, yes.
And there was also enough lighting to see the man lean forward towards the lock on the door. Isn't that right?
I did see him lean forward, yes.
Now, at this time, you couldn't tell whether the man used a key to open the door or if he actually broke into it.
Um, I couldn't say one way or the other.
Okay.
I didn't see anything that suggested that he had a key.
Now, you didn't see a key, did you?
I did not, no, sir.
You didn't see the man holding anything.
I didn't see him holding a key. No.
Okay.
Not that I wrote.
Now, there's a light inside the sporting goods store, is there not?
Yes, there is.
Now it's on at all times.
It was on that night, definitely.
Now, this light allowed you to see Mr. Dorn inside the store. Isn't that correct?
Yes, it did, sir.
And you could see Mr. Dorn look in both directions.
I saw him, look both ways. Yes, sir.
And he started walking towards the cash register. Isn't that right?
He did. Yes, sir.
Now, there's a telephone by the cash register also, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
Okay. Now, while the man was walking, you saw him swing, did you not?
I don't know that I would say he was swaying. I saw him walking, maybe not walking purposefully toward the register, but I saw him walking.
Okay. At this time, Officer Schwartz, I want you to look at your police report. And particularly, I want you to look at paragraph 2, starting on line 5 into line 6. And just read along with me. It says here, I observed that he appeared to be swaying or staggering. And you went on to say the suspect bumped into several display counters and racks, knocking down at least one. Now, Officer Schwartz, when you say he in your report, you are referring to Mr. Dorn, isn't that correct?
Yes, sir, I am.
So let me ask you again. You saw the man walking towards the cash register swaying, did you not?
If that's what I wrote, then I guess I'll have to agree with you. I guess that's what I said.
Okay, Officer Schwartz, I don't want you to agree with me. I want this to be your testimony. Did you see Mr. Dorn sway while walking towards the cash register?
Yes.
Okay. And you saw Mr. Dorn stagger, excuse me.
Yes.
And you saw Mr. Dorn bump into several display counters, isn't that correct?
Yes.
And you saw him bump into several display racks also.
I saw him knock over one of the display racks, maybe more than one.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when the man exited the store, you apprehended him, isn't that correct?
I did, yes, sir.
He did not resist.
No, he did not.
Once under arrest, you continued to watch Mr. Dorn, isn't that correct?
Yes, sir, of course.
No, in fact, you and Mr. Dorn talked some, didn't you?
A little bit, yes.
Now, Mr. Dorn had difficulty standing upright, did he not?
I think he was leaning. I don't know that I would consider it that it was hard for him to stand. I think he chose to lean against the car, but I wouldn't necessarily say that he could not stand. He was standing.
Okay, Officer Schwartz, again, I want to reflect your attention to your police report in paragraph 3 again, starting in line 3, ending in line 4. It says he offered no resistance and he had difficulty standing upright. Again, in your report, when you refer to he, you are referring to Mr. Dorn, isn't that correct?
Yes, I am.
So isn't it true that Mr. Dorn actually did have difficulty standing upright?
If that's what I wrote, then that's what I saw, yes.
Okay. And he also had difficulty speaking clearly, isn't that right?
I could understand what he said, but I felt like maybe he was having some trouble getting his words out.
Okay, so he did have difficulty speaking clearly?
I guess you could call it that, yes.
In fact, his words were slurred. Isn't that correct?
They seemed like they might be slurred when I spoke to him, yes.
And he mixed his words up.
Yes.
Actually, he had to repeat his words several times while trying to say something. Isn't that correct?
He did repeat himself, yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, when you were talking to Mr. Dorn, you noticed the odor of alcohol coming from his breath, did you not?
I did, yes.
Okay. And this odor was obvious.
Are you there?
Are you there, Brooke?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And this
Yes,
odor was obvious, correct?
Yes, it smelled like alcohol, yes.
It was obvious.
Yes.
Okay. And the odor was strong.
It was definitely noticeable. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Now, would you say that this odor was strong?
Yes, it was strong.
After making these observations, you placed Mr. Dorn in your squad car, correct? And then you walked back over to the sporting goods store.
I did, yes.
And you did this to perform a proper investigation.
Absolutely. Yes.
Now you looked at the door where Mr. Dorn entered the store, right?
I did look at it, yes.
Okay. And you did this to look for tool marks.
I inspected the door to see if there were signs of forced entry, yes.
Now, tool marks show if a door has been tampered with, right?
That's correct, yes.
Now, a crowbar can be used to force a door open, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Now, this type of tool uses leverage to force a door open, correct?
Yeah, you could say that, yes.
Okay. Now, when a person uses a crowbar, they place one end in between the door and the door frame, and then on the other end, they either lean or they push to exhibit force that breaks the door open. Isn't that right?
That's typically how it's done, yes, sir.
Okay. Now, producing enough leverage to force the door open is very difficult when you're leaned over down towards a lock, is it not?
I would say it's probably not how you would typically use that tool. It would be a little more hard than pushing on the other side of it. Yeah.
Now, the force of a crowbar creates tool marks, correct?
Yes, it does.
Now, significantly, these tool marks are pretty overwhelming, correct?
In my experience, when I've seen doors forced open, it's usually can see evidence of the crowbar. Yes.
Normally on both the door and the frame.
Yes, sir.
Now, you thoroughly looked at the entrance door to the store, correct?
Yes, I did, sir.
Now, as part of the door, you inspect the door frame also.
I do. Yes.
Okay. And you saw no obvious signs of this door being tampered with, did you?
I don't recall anything obvious. No, sir.
Okay. Now, you stated earlier that you do not leave out important details in the police reports, right?
I do my best not to, sir.
Okay. But in this report, you make no mention of the crowbar in your report, do you?
No, I do not.
Thank you. No more questions.